Brilliant. We live, Dan. Yeah, awesome, man. Dan, thanks so much again for joining us on the double shot. And welcome back. It's nice to have you back and chatting to you again.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, you guys, so just for those who are, who might have caught the double shot we did with Dan, I think we were just discussing maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
You guys were sort of at a critical point in your agency where you were sort of, you had grown. You were reaching scale and you were starting to put things in place. So I think that's obviously what we were going to discuss today, you know, how things are going, where you're at. I think it's a good insight for agencies who have this dream everyone has this dream. Most people have this dream for their agency. They want to get beyond just mom and pop and 1 and 2 man shows to something a lot bigger and more important. And it's always interesting to watch from the outside and see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what's happened to us. We've been going for 6 years now. And the first 4 years of running the agency was really us just figuring out what on earth we're doing, how we can add value for clients and just getting good at, you know, our, what we're good at, producing videos and paid social media campaigns. And it was only my brother and I for those first 4 years. And only 2 years ago, we hired our first kind of, I think it was a business administrator to help us take on all the things that we shouldn't be doing to free up our time to then work on driving business development and that kind of thing. And now there's 6 of us. So in the last kind of 18 months, we've hired another 3 people. So we're kind of on that upwards trajectory now of we figured out what we can do, how we can add value. Now it's about building the team out to scale up what we're doing.
Got you. And I mean, I think it's, well, I mean, there's quite a lot to unpack, obviously, as an agency scales. That's obviously what we do. One thing I think you hit on there, and I think we spoke about this in the initial chat as well, was getting the administrative like crap off your hands and getting help. Because, you know, as business owners, when we start out, we tend to want to do, well, not want to, but we do everything ourselves because it's cheaper. But as we grow, we tend to be bad at letting things go and saying, hey, actually,
that's me.
You can relate. My time's more valuable than this, man. I'm an expensive resource in this business. And here I am putting together a spreadsheet or chasing up a debt or something, you know, valuable things in an agency, but probably not something that the founder of the business should be doing. So is that something that you've obviously had to take on and learn, I suppose, hey?
Yeah. I think I've got my co-founder and brother to thank, because I'm a control freak and I always just want to do everything because I think I can do it better than everyone else when I can't. So he was the one that really pushed me to just look at my calendar, because we schedule every second of our day is scheduled. So we can easily look at what we've been doing, and he could clearly point out, why are you doing that task? Why are you doing that task? You can delegate that. And then it was that process of thinking, oh yeah, I should be doing other tasks like business development, the marketing for our own business, driving sales, rather than those kind of smaller tasks. But it's difficult as an agency owner, because you feel like, me personally feels like I should be doing everything, you know, but
you got to let it go. So it was sort of learned behavior in your case. It was sort of learned behavior that you had to be caught out on. And I suppose the fact that you have such a close partner in your brother to keep you honest and say, hey mate, why are you taking this meeting? It's not your business. Delegate it.
Yeah, I think,
be honest.
Yeah, I think it was kind of the crisis moment of realizing we haven't got enough time that we need to do what we need to do to grow, to meet our 2030 goals. So it's like, we've got these goals that we want to reach, but if we literally haven't got the hours in a day with the current setup, then it's not going to work the way it's working. So that's when it was like, oh wait, we need to actually outsource like 60% of the stuff I was doing, maybe more, I shouldn't be doing. So then that, like, now since applying that, we've, like, my role in the business is sales and marketing, to drive the sales and marketing for my business. Now almost all of my time is focused on that, and it's made a huge change, because now we're getting much bigger, longer contracts in, which is helping us grow the team, because I'm actually investing the time I need to generate those sales, rather than, you know, scheduling something on social media, which I should be doing.
Oh man, tell me about it. And I think, you know, that's quite interesting as well, what you say about growing the team, that's quite a big thing, because it's almost the which comes first, the cart or the horse, and how do you get there, and how do you employ. But I suppose, as you say, is once you got your time management right as the owner, or the business owner, as the agency owner, it allowed you to focus your efforts more clearly on what your job was, which brings in bigger contracts, which brings in more money, which allows you to make more expensive, bigger decisions that are going to grow the agency.
Exactly. And the way we've kind of gone about hiring is to use skilled freelancers to support us with projects
Gotcha.
until we're paying a freelancer 80% of what we'd be paying someone's salary. And then we know we're in a position consistently to then hire someone to grow the team in that kind of manageable way. And something else we've done strategically is to hire people that are much better skilled than us, like at video, at paid social media advertising. So we're constantly pushing ourselves by paying experts in our company to increase the kind of quality of what we're doing.
Got you. And I think that
hire people that are much better skilled than us, like video,
sorry, I've got a bit of feedback going on
paid social media advertising.
Sorry, I don't know how that happened. That's key to us, because obviously, well, that conversation, obviously, from us at Globatel, what we do is resource partnering, is we help agencies scale with resources. Such a key conversation, and a lot of agencies get it wrong. You've obviously gone down that route, and you've brought on a bunch of you've got the bigger contracts, got more money, brought on not just new employees, but also, as you say, quality. But you brought up freelancers as well. So you're kind of making use of a couple of different strategies there. You're using the freelance subcontractor format, and you're using the full-time format. How's that gone about?
So we, when I do my job well and I get more business in, we have, our capacity is full and we need to get more work. We need to deliver the work we've won. So we bring in these trusted freelancers to help deliver those projects. And then once we consistently do that over a few months, or we have enough work booked in to do that on a longer term basis, that's when they will hire someone in-house, because we'd always rather have someone in-house doing the work. But in terms of managing our risk, like for example with the global pandemic, if we would have just hired loads of people and thought, we're going to be all right, our projected income is going to be X amount, let's just hire, then we could have been in a potentially bad situation. And our whole ethos is, we don't want to be the biggest agency in the world. We want to grow in a manageable way that ensures that we're happy and we can see our families. And because other agencies that we know have grown a lot bigger, which is very impressive, but their life is their agency. And for us, and I think that's amazing, but for us personally, we want to do this in a manageable way. So we're going down this route of freelancers and then hiring someone when we get to a certain point, and we're going to continue to do that until we get to a certain size.
Got you. And I think that's what's so important. That's why I've loved, actually, well, I'm kind of following your agency's journey as a case study for our community, because, as I say, a lot of digital agency owners, their goal is to get where you guys are currently, the journey you're walking. You've gotten to a stage where you're starting to scale, growing up, making bigger decisions, winning bigger contracts. So it's quite, as I said, we've been following that quite nicely, and it's nice to check in with you and see where you're at. It's also, I think, key what you say about making decisions that are good for your sort of your own life, and making you keep sane and enjoying the journey. Because, as you say, I think a lot of agency owners just dream of that big break, and that's where they'll go. But it is about pacing yourself, isn't it? It's about biting off what you can chew, not more than you can chew.
Yeah, and I used to, like Gary V's hustle culture, work all night, don't sleep. When we first started the agency, I was obsessed with Gary V, and that's what helped me get to a certain point. I was like, I work all the time, and it worked well. But now we've kind of matured, and we have got families now and stuff. We're like, we're confident in our ability to grow, but let's do it at a rate so that we actually are happy and our families like us. At the same time. So it's like,
you can still remember what you like.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a tough balancing act, because you need to work enough to still grow, but without overdoing it. It's kind of, but yeah, I feel like we're getting there. We don't always get it right, but we're on a good kind of path and journey now.
So quickly before we finish, any immediate advice or big lessons you've learned in this stage of the journey? Because as I said, it's been about 4, 5, 6 months. Last time we chatted, I think, as you said, you only had, there were 3 or 4 of you, and now there's 6. So
Yeah.
any quick bits of advice that you would give an agency owner watching that you about the journey you've just been on?
Yeah, something that's been hugely beneficial from my perspective is having a business partner that's got the complete opposite set of skills that I have. So this now allows us, he's my brother as well, but he's the CEO and he manages the team and manages all the projects, and I focus heavily on sales and marketing for our business. So having that, not having to do everything is really beneficial, and having a partner. Also something we do like we have a monthly management meeting as well, and we actually bring in our dad, who's been in business for like 30 years, and he really challenges us on the decisions we're making. Like, I guess it's like a mentor. It's our dad, but it's a kind of mentor. So every month he's like, why are you doing this? Why have you done that? Let's look at the finances. Let's look at the sales funnel. And he's really keeping us accountable for the milestones we need to be hitting to reach our 2030 plan. And that's one more tip is looking at what your endpoint is. If you're running an agency, again, this is just from our experience, and this has helped us. From our experience, the point where we actually said, right, what's the end point we want our agency to be? What does that look like? How many staff are we going to have? What's our turnover going to be? What's our profit going to be? And then build a plan working backwards. And that's our 2030 plan. So now we have a mapped out plan of every year, what we should be earning each month, what targets we should be hitting, what our team looks like. So that it's a clear, structured approach to reaching that end goal of being in a position to sell our agency for a certain amount of money.
Got you. And I think what you've just described, ironically, is not taking anything away from your dad or from you guys, but what you just described actually is very fundamental business coaching understanding. Dashboards, OKRs, rhythms, making sure that you check in with your team regularly, or your business partner, whatever it is. All of this is very basic stuff that everybody should do and should know in their business, but we all fail to actually do it. And I think one of the other keys there is what you spoke about, listening to somebody who's outside of the business as well is pretty important, because it gives you a different approach, which is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. That's been huge to us. I mean, if you're not currently getting advice from outside, I'd highly recommend from wherever. If it's from you guys, if it's from someone else, like definitely get some outsiders input to your business, because it's helped us a lot.
Yeah. And also what you described as well, which I think is pretty key, is you've laid out that 2030 is your goal. This is where you want to be. Roll it backwards and map it out year by year, month by month, almost week by week. I mean, but what underpins all that is analytics. It's about having data. And I think that's key.
Definitely. And there's one more little nugget that I've learned a lot from recently. The Agencynomics book. It's a book called Agencynomics by a guy called Spencer Gallagher and Peter Hall. Again, it's like you sort of mentioned, it talks about the simple things an agency needs to be doing. But if you do all of those things, you will get where you want to. It's just we always forget to do everything we should be. It's kind of that reminder again to do with forecasting your finances, all different, sales and marketing and that kind of thing. So yeah,
brilliant. Book. We'll stick that link down below as well, just so that people can check it out, because I think that's a valuable one. But yeah, Dan, listen, thank you so much again for joining us. Anything else you want to add? Anything we haven't gone through that you wanted to add?
One final thing, if anyone's into podcasts, we've got a podcast called the Business Anchors Podcast, where my brother and I talk through all the challenges and things that we're facing growing our agency and how we're overcoming them. So similar to what we've been talking about today, but on a kind of regular, timely basis, we talk about what's going wrong and how we're overcoming it, and hopefully other agency owners will find that useful.
Beautiful. You'll give me the link. We'll stick it out down in the and what we started doing since we last spoke is we actually, so for those who did manage to tune in, and those who obviously just catch the live in the community as the days go by, we put everything on YouTube now as well. We've got a YouTube channel, and we put everything on YouTube with all the details where people can connect with you, exactly with the podcast, where they can follow up. We've also started putting all of these talks onto Spotify as a podcast as well, because we recognize not everybody's sitting and watching video all day. Sometimes people just want to stick stuff in the background, and digital marketing is a difficult one. Well, not a difficult one, but it's a quiet one. There's not a lot of, we find there's not a lot of good stuff going on. So we're trying to obviously get this content, give it as many legs as possible. And also obviously Twitter and Instagram will shoot out the clips as well to that. So Yeah, man, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And thanks for taking the time away from the shoots. I'm sure the team's waiting.
Yeah, they're all waiting for lunch, so they'll be happy when this ends.
Brilliant, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time. We'll chat again soon.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Shot, Dan, there you go, bro. We're done.